Have you ever been rock solid in the crisis? You get the call, you handle the appointment, you advocate, you organize everything, and then later, when it's finally quiet, you fall apart. You feel shaky, teary, snappy, foggy, exhausted, like you've been hit by a truck. Today, we're talking about why that happens, the real caregiver burnout symptoms that show up after the crisis, and the kind of aftercare that actually works in real life. By the end of this episode, you'll have one gentle reset and a simple aftercare framework you can use the same day, so you can recover without spiraling or self-abandoning. If you're tired of holding it together in hard rooms, appointments, hospital days, and service systems, and then crashing afterwards, you're in the right place. Hi, lovely. Caregiver to caregiver, I'm really glad you're here. I'm Michelle. As a caregiver and an advocate, I know firsthand what it's like to become the walking medical encyclopedia, to fight for continuity so you don't have to repeat your story, and to leave the room thinking, I should have said that differently. No pressure, no perfect routines, and no toxic positivity. Just one gentle reset and one practical next step so you can have calmer days, clearer words, and advocate without self-abandoning. Let's take a breath and start. If you'd like a guided space for this kind of reflection, especially for the after part when everything catches up, you can download my free gratitude journal. I'll link it in the show notes. No pressure, just there if it supports you. I want to name something I hear again and again from caregivers, and honestly, I've lived it too. In the moment, you can do what's needed doing. You make the phone call, you track the symptoms, you pack the bag, you sit in the waiting room, and you speak up. You hold it together. And it's not that it feels easy. It's just like something switches on. You go into that crisis mode competence, the medical mum, the medical dad hat. Then later, maybe in the car, maybe in the shower, maybe at 2 a.m., your body finally realizes it's allowed to feel. And suddenly it's like, where did this come from? You're exhausted in your bones. Your brain is foggy. You're irritable. You want to be alone, or you can't stop crying, or you're scrolling or snacking or doing anything to not feel what's under the surface. If that's you, I want you to hear this. You're not broken. You're not too sensitive. You're not failing at resilience. This is a very normal nervous system pattern, especially for caregivers who have had to be the strong one for such a long time. Let's make sense of what's happening, and then I'll give you an aftercare plan that doesn't require an hour, a perfect routine, or a brand new life. Why you're fine during the crisis. When a crisis hits, your nervous system does something very intelligent. It prioritizes function. It narrows your focus. It gives you adrenaline. It helps make decisions quickly. It can even numb certain feelings so you can get through the things you have to get through. For caregivers, this can become a pattern because you're not just dealing with one crisis, you're dealing with the next appointment, the next flare, the next phone call, the next form, the next can you come in, the next we need you to decide now. So being fine during isn't proof you're okay. It's often proof your system knows how to override. And overriding works until it doesn't. What wrecked after actually looks like. Burnout symptoms that are easy to miss. We usually imagine burnout as one big collapse, but caregiver burnout often shows up as a series of quieter symptoms, especially after high stress moments. So let's name a few, gently, without diagnosing anything. The crash. You feel like your body turns to concrete once you get home. The fog. You can't think, you can't concentrate, your brain feels slow. The irritability. Tiny things feel unbearable. Noise, questions, mess. One more request. The shutdown. You don't want to talk. You don't want to be touched. You want to disappear. The replay loop. Your mind reruns the appointment. What you said, what you didn't say, what you should have said differently, the wide but tired night, exhausted but you can't sleep because your body is still braced, the numb reach, scrolling, snacking, tidying, staying busy, not because you're lazy, but because your system is trying to self-soothe. And here's the part I want to say clearly. These are not moral failures, they're signals. They're your nervous system saying, I carried too much for too long and I need a landing. Before we go on, just as a tiny pause, if it helps, drop your shoulders. Exhale once. Feel your feet on the ground and remind yourself nothing needs to be perfect to count. If all you do today is recognize this is my nervous system catching up, that counts. Aftercare, that works. The safe landing, SAFE. Now, I want to give you a simple aftercare framework that you can do in real life. Not a spa day, not a full morning routine, not meditate for 30 minutes. This is a safe landing. And you can do it in 2 minutes, 10 minutes, or in small pieces. S stands for signal safety to the body, 60 to 90 seconds. The goal is not to feel amazing. The goal is to tell your body we're out of the room now. Try this. Unclench your jaw, drop your shoulders, take one longer exhale than your inhale. Hand on your chest or belly if that feels okay. And one sentence. I'm out of the crisis now. I'm safe to come back into my body. If that sentence doesn't feel right, make it simpler. I'm home. I'm here. It's over for today. A stands for acknowledge the cost without spiraling. This is the step most caregivers skip because you've had to be functional. Just one honest sentence. That took a lot out of me. That was scary. That was too much today. I hate that we have to live like this. You're not making it worse by naming it. You're stopping the feelings from leaking out sideways later. F stands for fuel the basics because burnout is physical too. This is the unglamorous part, but it works. After hard rooms, choose one. A drink of water, something with protein, a shower, fresh air, even if it's just stepping outside your back door. Change your clothes, sit with your feet on the floor for 1 minute. Wiggle your toes, feel the sensations. Think of it as first aid for your nervous system, not self-improvement. E stands for exit the loop, so it doesn't become a 2 a.m. replay. This is where we use continuity. I want you to open your notes on your phone or in a journal and write, next step, who and when, one question for next time. And if your mind keeps replaying what you should have said, add this line. I can come back to this with clearer words later. I can come back to this with clearer words later because you can. You don't have to solve the entire future tonight. A gentle word on guilt. A lot of caregivers feel guilty for crashing, like it means they're not coping, like it means they're weak. But what if the crash is actually a sign that you've pushed past your limits to get your loved one through, and now your body is asking for repair? That's not weakness, that's biology. That's a system that's been carrying a little more weight on gratitude without bypassing. Now, I want to talk about gratitude carefully here because I know what it feels like to have someone try to hand you gratitude like it's a band-aid. In this space, we don't use gratitude to deny reality. We use gratitude as an anchor, a way to give your nervous system one safe point to land after it's done scanning for threats all day. So after you do SAFE safe, even just the first step, you can add one truth-based gratitude line, a both and statement. That was hard and I showed up. I'm wrecked and I'm still here. I didn't do it perfectly and I protected the next step. I'm grateful I'm out of the room now. I'm grateful I wrote the plan down. And if gratitude feels impossible some days, that's okay too. You can use a neutral anchor instead. I'm here. I'm breathing, that counts. This is why the gratitude journal can be so supportive for caregivers because it gives you a guided place to hold the truth and still track the tiny, steady moments that help you recover, not perform positivity. Recover. All right, lovely, let's wrap this up gently. If you're fine during the crisis and wrecked after, it doesn't mean you're failing. It usually means your nervous system stayed in function mode so you could get through, and then it finally caught up once you were safe. Today, we named the quieter burnout symptoms that show up after hard moments: the crash, the fog, the irritability, the replay loop. And we walk through the SAFE landing: safe, aftercare, signal safety, acknowledge the cost, fuel the basics, and exit the loop with continuity. Your next small step is this: after your next hard room, try the first 2 minutes. One long exhale, shoulders down, and the sentence, "I'm out of the crisis." Then write the next step in your notes so your brain doesn't have to hold it all night. And if it supports you, add one truth-based gratitude anchor, not to force positivity, just to give your nervous system a place to land. I'll put the gratitude journal link in the show notes. Keep it gentle and doable. Hey lovely, caregiver to caregiver, if today's episode supported you even in a small way, would you share it with another caregiver who's holding it together in hard rooms too? And if you have a quick moment, leaving a review on Apple Podcasts really helps us reach more caregivers who need calmer days, clearer words, and practical support. I'll see you right back here next time for another episode. I'm Michelle, and this is Nervous System Reset for Caregivers. No pressure, no perfect routines, and no toxic positivity. Just one gentle reset and one practical next step. Until next time, take gentle care of your radiant moments and of yourself.